Hey class, a lot of you are having issues with Project 3, so I was going to go ahead and do a quick review of 2.1 and I'll walk you into how to do Project 3. So I'm doing an example that's on page, let me find it in the book, 67, on page, number 15 on page 67. So what it wants me to do, it says, these are the number of curl-ups a group of 8-year-old boys can do in 60 seconds. Use 6 classes with a class width of 5 and begin with the lower limit of 15. So we're going to do our class. Okay, so it already said my lower class has got to be, the lowest has got to be 15. So that means then the next one I'm going to do is 19. And then the next one I'm going to do is 20. Okay, a lot of people are like, but how is your class with 5? Think of it this way. 15 is a number, 16 is a number, 17 is a number, 18 is a number, and 19 is a number. Those are 5 different numbers. So my class width is 5. Another way to check is do 20 minus 15 is 5, 24 minus 19 is 5. That's another way you can check for class width. So I'm going to go all the way up. It said, how many classes do I want to have? It said 6. So I'm going to keep going. Okay, so here are my 6 classes. Next one I would do is frequency. So, be great if I spelled it right. Frequency. Alright, so from here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to count. So I'm going to make my life easier, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to sort them. I'm going to do the data and just do sort. Okay, so I only have 1 from 15 to 19. I have 1 from 20 to 24. I have 5 from 25 to 29. Then I have 5 from 30 to 34. Then I have 2 from 35 to 39, 36. And then I have 2 for the bottom. Okay, so that's all my frequency is. Then the next thing is class boundaries. And I'm going to break them up because it's kind of tough with this, and I'll show you why in a minute I'm breaking it up for this. So my first one's going to be lower class boundary. Go ahead and change it to boundary. And then my next one is going to be my upper class boundary. Okay. So there we go. Okay. So let's just, I always tell people, start with your second upper class boundary. And for that, what you're going to look at is you're going to look at 24 plus 25, which I'm getting from the class in front of it, divided by 2 gives me 24.5. Okay? Well, the cool thing about that upper class boundary is it becomes the lower class boundary for the class in front of it. So there you go. All right, so let's do the upper class boundary for the third class. It's going to be 29 plus 30 divided by 2 gives me 29.5. Okay, so I know, again, the upper class boundary for class 3 is the lower class boundary for class 4. So let's do one more. 34 plus 35 divided by 2 equals 34.5. Okay, so look at it that way. So you can probably see the pattern emerging now. These are increasing by 5. So all I need to do down here is this is going to be 34.5, and then I can finish my lower class boundary because I know then it's going to be 39.5. And this one is going to be 39.5, and my last one is going to be 44.5. So you can see the pattern emerge. All right, so let's go to the top. So I know 19 plus 20 divided by 2 gives me 19.5. Oops. All right, so there's that one, which means this one's going to be 19.5. Okay, there's only one that we haven't talked about. I'm going to left center all these so it'll look nicer for you guys. Let's do it long live left center. Okay, so this one. Because I can't compare 15 to anything, I'm going to just go ahead and subtract 19.5 from 5 gives me 14.5. Again, it's done by 5, which is the class width. Okay? Same for this one. Let's put it increases by 5. That might increases by 5. Okay? The class width. So that might help. Okay. The next column is midpoint. What is midpoint? I know you're thinking, why are you doing all this work? Because I'm going to show you in a minute because you're going to make histograms from these. Okay, so midpoint. So 15 plus 19 divided by 2 gives you what? It gives you 17. Okay, let's do the next one. 20 plus 24 divided by 2 gives you 22. So I'm keeping going down. 29 divided by 2 gives you 27. Okay, and I'm just going to keep increasing, right? That's going to be 32. That's going to be 37. And that's going to be 42. How did that increase? It increased by 5s again. So, increases by 5, i.e. class width. All right, I hope you guys see the pattern that's starting to emerge. All right, so let's do the final one just as a review. Relative frequency. I'm going to do this. Is your frequency 1 divided by the total number of data points you have on this one. So I'm being lazy. I'm just going to do the sum function, and I'm going to add these together, and it gives me 16. But remember, the question told us there were 16. So I'm going to go over here and do 1 over 16. So, and then my next, oh, why is it doing that? All right, let me change this. So I got to right click and do format my cells, and I'm going to leave it as fraction, and it'll let me do it. Okay, no. So we're going to do 1 over 16. Oh, why are you doing that? All right, give me just a second to get this done. Format cells, fractions, let's just do, we can do it as 1/16. Okay, so we're going to hit OK. All right, the next one's going to be 1/16. The next one's going to be 5 over 16. You can also do percentages if you want, whatever is easier for you. And then 2 over 16, and then 2 over 16. Okay, the last one is the cumulative frequency. Okay, I'm just going to do it as that. Okay, so how do you do that? This is really easy. So the first one is 1. The next one is 1 plus 1 equals 2. The next one is 1 plus 1 plus 5 equals 7. Do you guys see where I'm getting these? I'm just going over here and going 1 plus 1 plus 5 gives me that. So let's do this to make it look nicer so everybody can see the pattern that's emerging. Okay, so what's the next one? 1 plus 1 plus 5 plus, plus 5 equals what? That's going to equal 12. And then what's the next one? 1 plus 1 plus, plus 5 plus 5 plus, plus 2 gives me 14. And then my last one is 1 plus 1 plus 5 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2 gives me 16. And that is correct because that's the same number that I started with. So here we have a completed frequency distribution. So if you're having problems with 2.1, this is what you need to work on. Okay, so the next thing what we're doing for project 3 to make the histograms is this. I'm going to go ahead and go to data. Over here where it says analysis, you have to have this button. If you do not have this button, if you'll go look at the end of chapter 3 in the technology section, it will walk you through it. It's a download you must use to make this work. And let's see. And it does tell you how to find it if you don't know where to find it. So it's on page 186. Or, excuse me, Appendix B, Getting Started with Microsoft Excel. That could help you. So, okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to hit that button, and then I'm going to go to histograms. Okay. So it wants your input range. Your input range is the actual data. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to include even the title curl-ups, okay? So I included all my data. So then I want to do my bin range. The first thing we're going to do is our upper class boundaries. Oops. So make sure that you put your title in too. You're going to click labels. You want to do new worksheet, and you also want to put chart output, and you hit OK. Oops. Oh, it didn't like it. Okay, hold on. I know what I did. Okay. So they don't like that I put all the part of it that shows how I got there, so I'm going to delete all that. I was mainly doing that so I could show you guys what it meant. And this is a good practice. If yours says something like that, look for this and you might have to get rid of it. Okay, so let's try it again. I'm going to go back to data analysis. I'm in histogram, and it's going to pretty much take you to the same place. So now I'm going to hit OK. It's thinking, okay, and there we go. That's my histogram. So I'm going to put histogram, I'm going to put upper class histogram for number of pull-ups or push-ups, whatever it was, push-ups. Okay, so this is a histogram. You can make it bigger by clicking on it. You can take the arrow out and make it bigger. One thing you do need to do, click on the bars. Then you need to right-click to where it comes up to this. You can see different things. You can add data labels. You can add a trend line. Go to Format Data Series. And if you look over here, it's going to see gap width. It cannot have a gap. Histograms do not have gaps. So if you look here, here's my completed histogram. So if you don't like them being exactly on top of each other, that's okay. You don't have to worry about it. This is acceptable for an upper class histogram. Okay, so let's go back to our sheet, go back to sheet number 1, and now we're going to do it for the midpoints. I have it on your project to do dot plots. I'm sending out a new project. It should not say dot plots. It should say upper class boundary histogram and midpoint histogram. So let's go to data. Data, think about it, you're analyzing data. Data analysis. When you hit this again, one thing's going to change. It's going to be midpoint. But remember, I have to clean it up because I have stuff that it doesn't like in there. So I'm going to go over here, quickly delete this stuff, and then we should be good to go. Okay. Going. Okay. So let's do it again. Going to data analysis. Oops. Data analysis. Histogram, hit OK. I'm going to change this though. Remember, your input range is your data. That's great. Just leave it the way it is. Oops. You don't have to touch it. I messed it up because you could see if I hit it again, it adds more data. So just go over there, make sure it's in there correctly. Then this, I'm going to backspace or delete it out of there, and then I'm going to go grab my midpoint. Labels is checked. New workbook is checked, and so is chart output. I hit OK. I'm going to hit OK, and then there we go. It made a new histogram, and everything changed because I was using the midpoints this time as opposed to the upper class boundaries. Click on it, click on the bars, right-click, do Format Data Series, and I'm going to make them touch. If you don't want to make them touch so you can see a little bit between them, that's fine. All right, so click on histogram, and you're going to write midpoint histogram for push-ups. Okay. All right. So all you're going to do with these is once you get them, let me go ahead and pause this for a second. I'm going to open the project for a minute, and we're going to look at it together. Hold on. Hold on just 1 second. Let me try to... Okay, so let's go back to here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to sheet 2. And remember I had my upper class boundary histogram, so I'm going to take it, if it'll let me, and I'm going to do a copy. And then I'm going to go, let's see if I can open, then I'm just going to paste it in my Word document. And I'm going to open that in just a minute. So you just do a Control-C and a Control-V to paste it into your thing. And I know you can't see it right now. I'm going to do that in just a second and show you. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make my midpoint one a little bit bigger so it's easier to read. So then I'm going to copy it. And there's different ways you can copy them. And I'm going to paste it, okay? Okay, so I'm going to save this. Hold on just 1 second. Save that. All right. Okay, so I'm going to close this down now. So you know how we got all this stuff. So I'm going to leave this here. There's one other thing that we can take from this that shows on Project 3. Okay, so you're going to be looking at ages. So go to data again, and this is kind of cool. Go to data analysis. You see down here where it says descriptive statistics? Click on it. You're going to hit OK. So here's where you're going to go ahead and put your ages in. For me, it's curl-ups. I'm going to hit label in the first row. And then I'm going to do summary statistics, and I hit OK. Well, look what it did for me. It showed me my mean. It showed me my standard error. Don't worry about that one. It showed me my median and my mode, sample variance, showed me my range, my minimum, my maximum, and my count. Those are things you're going to answer in Chapter 3. One of the things that you might be looking for is Q1 and Q3. So Q1 is just 25% of your data, and Q3 is the 75th percentile of your data. So you can use those, you can find those out looking at the percentile formula. And I'm looking in 3.3 for that, and you're going to see it's an actual formula that you use to find out the position of data. So you want to go ahead and try to figure that out. And it's not too bad. It's on page 160 and 158. So that's all you're going to do. All right. Well, let me pop up the actual project. Let's see. Let's go ahead to, we're going to close that down. So I'm going to go. All right. Let's go to, hold on. Nope, there it is, okay. Okay, so we're going to do sharing again. Okay, so here it is. Okay. So my best advice for this project is go ahead and do the ages based on the way it wants you to do it. Then do practice. Do your frequencies, which you need to do here anyway. Do your upper class and your midpoints. Do your class boundaries, your midpoints, your relative frequency, and your cumulative frequency. From here, I'm going to change it. You're going to put the upper class histogram, and look, I put it there, and it's going to ask, is it symmetric, left skewed, or right skewed? You have to answer that question. That comes from 2.3. Here's a midpoint histogram, and it's going to say, is it symmetrical, left, or right? You need to answer that. You need to do a stem and leaf plot, and I think I'm going to omit that because I don't think you need to do that for this. So, and then down here, you're going to go ahead and answer these questions, and I showed you how to get that data. And then one of the videos I do for 3.1 is going to show you how to verify the measures of center. And I'm also going to show you how to determine if there's any outliers in that video. The book doesn't do a very good job of explaining that, but I'm going to walk you guys through that. So, and then this is dealing with z-scores. So just know I'm changing this project. I'm going to omit number 6, and I've changed 4 and 5, and I will send that through email. Well, I think that's all I can answer about this project. If you have any more questions, let me know. Thanks.